and welcome to another analog photography video. I'm Nural and this is my channel. Today I will be talking about different film formats, or at least the ones that I know of, and also some of my favorite films. So there are different kinds of films, and some of them are analog films that you need development with, and then there are some that are instant films. The regular films have also different kinds within them, and my son wants to join us. This one is a 35mm film, and it comes within a canister like this, and the holes on both sides, so there are perforations, and the film is carried throughout the camera through these perforations. And most of the cameras use this type, and it is the most common film to find, and it is the easiest to get developed as well. Here you go. Let's play with this. And then there's the medium format film, which is a little taller than 35mm, and it comes rolled up in this spool, and inside this there's one layer of paper and one layer of film, so it is rolled up like that. And when you advance it inside your camera, both layers advance together, and most cameras, as far as I know, that use this film does not have sort of like a stopping mechanism. So when you're rolling the film inside the camera after every photo that you take, you need to follow a number on the back side of the film. So if you do this, so I'm actually gonna burn this film because it's a very old film that is expired, so I can actually like let go of it, sort of. So as I explained, this comes with some paper, and on one side we have this text, and on the other side it's black, and after a while the film starts. And on the back here you have these numbers. So these numbers end up actually showing you how many shots you're gonna take and which photo you're on. So there are different lines, and one of those lines will let you get 16 square photos. The middle one will let you get 12 square photos, and the third one will let you get 8 rectangular photos that will actually print the same side as a 35mm photo will print. And as I said, this is a little less common than this, but still in both of them you can find black and white films, color negative films, which when developed end up being a negative, and when you scan it or print it, turns into the positive image and creates the colors that your eyes see. And then there's also slide films, and the slide films, when developed in slide chemicals, the E6 chemicals, end up being positive. So when you hold up the negative, well, the positive in that case, when you hold it up, you actually see the real image here. And if you develop it with C41, so color negative chemicals, then you get sort of like a wrong chemical reaction, and depending on the film you choose, the results change. So you might get more vibrant greens if you do the Lomography Expro slide film, or brighter blues if you go with the Kodak Elite Chrome film, or get sort of like a pinkish hue with the Fuji Sensi 100, and green with the Provia 100 or 400. So it depends on the film, and you will be getting different results. And currently nowadays, one of my favorite 35mm films is the Lomography Lomochrome Purple. So here are some examples with that one. favorite of mine recently is the Kodak Elite Chrome. This has recently been reproduced. One of the first slide films that I actually loved was the Lomography X Pro Chrome 100 ISO film, and it would produce these just bright blues, and it has been discontinued a few years ago, but Kodak Elite Chrome has the same effect. And I've tried some of their expired films, but I didn't really get the same results that I was hoping for. But the newly produced slides are very high quality in my opinion, and I really like the results. So here are a few of those. Another film format that I really like using is the instant films. I do not own a Polaroid camera, and I've been checking them out for quite some time, but I know that I do not need a new camera. I should just use the ones that I have on hand. But still, they are lovely, and instead I'm currently using some of the Lomography instant cameras, and I've also used some of the Fuji instant cameras. From those, my favorite is the Instax Mini, which is this size. So it's basically the same size as a credit card or a bank card, and so it's smaller than your normal Polaroid films, and it's develops within a few seconds in your hands, and it is the most common one, so you find different cameras that use this. So this is one of them, and I'll show you how fast this is. So we're gonna get a photo here, and the photo just comes up through here, and as I speak we'll watch it develop. And this is one format, and another one is the Instax Square. So this is sort of similar to the Polaroids, but again it's smaller in size, but it's basically this turned into a square, and if you put two of these together, then you get the Instax white film, and you can now see it's sort of starting to appear here. And with these films, you do not need to get them developed, because what happens is, can I take this one? Can I take this one? You keep this one and I'll take this one. So what happens is, you have your chemicals inside here in this little pod, and when you press your shutter on your camera, this is let out, and from here there are rollers inside the camera that distribute the chemicals. You wanna go? Here we go. So the rollers actually distribute the chemicals throughout the film, and you end up getting an image. So it has been, what, less than 30 seconds probably since I shot this one, and it has already appeared. So I will show some examples of my favorite photos as well from the instant line. So these are some of my favorite film formats, and as I said, we have the 35mm, and from that I especially like slide films that shift colors, so I mainly use those. But like I said, you can get color negative films or black and white films as well. And then there is medium format, which I also use quite often, and with this one you mostly, depending on the camera, get square images as opposed to the rectangular in 35mm, and you again have the options of color negative, slide, or black and white. And in both of these formats, you need to get your film developed by a photo lab, or you can do it yourself. And I've explained in a couple videos how you can do color negative development or black and white cathenol development. And other than these, there's the 110 film, which is sort of like a 1 centimeter thick, sort of like a cassette. So the film rolls from one side to the other. And there's 126. It has the same logic but a bit thicker. And as far as I know, there's the 127 film, which is similar to 120, this one, the medium format, but does not have the backing paper all through. And I'm sure there are different films that I'm unaware of, but these are the ones that I use mostly and like. And then there's the instant films that I mentioned, which you do not need to get developed because the chemicals are already inside the film. And you have the Instax Mini from Fuji and the Instax Square again from Fuji, and there's the Instax Wide, which is double this side, that I do not really use often. And of course there are the old Polaroid cameras and the newly produced Polaroid cameras that produced a bit of a larger image. So if you have any questions about different film formats or types, film speeds, then just drop me a line in the comments and I'll get back to you. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the other videos. Bye!